Welcome back to World Affairs Today. Breaking today at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. U.S. President Donald Trump has shifted his controversial campaign to gain influence over Greenland by announcing a new framework with NATO, stepping back from earlier tariff threats and reaffirming that the United States will not use military force to pursue control of the Arctic island. But the reactions from allies, especially Canada and Denmark, remain tense. Here's the full context and what it means for global politics and Arctic strategy. On January 21st, 2026, President Trump announced on his social platform that he and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte agreed on a framework of a future deal. According to Trump, this framework provides a basis for future negotiations, addresses U.S. national security concerns, and led him to cancel tariff threats. Trump also reiterated his belief that Greenland is strategically vital to U.S. interests and Arctic security, linked to defense installations, logistical operations, and broader competition with rivals such as Russia and China. Most notably, he stated that the United States would not use military force to acquire Greenland, a major clarification after weeks of heated rhetoric. This announcement comes after a controversial period during which Trump threatened to impose tariffs up to 25% on European allies, including Denmark, Germany, France, and others, until Denmark agrees to sell Greenland. Stirred debate with mixed historical references and strategic arguments during his Davos address. Critics calling Trump's approach coercive. The so-called framework agreement announced today is deliberately vague. Trump described it as a future roadmap that could benefit all NATO member states. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte publicly framed the discussions as a conversation about collective security in the Arctic rather than sovereignty changes. Importantly, NATO itself does not have authority over the sovereignty of Greenland, which is a self-governing territory of Denmark. Despite Trump's softened rhetoric, the response was firm. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen reiterated that Greenland's sovereignty is non-negotiable. Canadian officials also pushed back. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a forceful message at Davos, arguing that the use of tariffs or economic pressure is not the right way to secure cooperation and strongly opposing Trump's earlier threats. Carney emphasized the need for cooperation among like-minded nations and stood firmly in support of Greenland's right to choose its own future. Trump's shift from tariff threats to an Arctic framework temporarily eases economic tensions. Markets reacted positively. However, the fundamental dispute over Greenland's future is far from resolved. Denmark and Greenlandic leaders continue to reject selling the territory. At the same time, global rivals are watching closely, including Russia, which recognizes the strategic importance of the Arctic. The Arctic is no longer a distant frontier. It is now a strategic arena for military, economic, and climate-driven competition. In summary, Trump softened his approach, announced a framework with NATO, but allies like Denmark and Canada oppose coercion. This remains a developing story. Thanks for watching World Affairs Today. Stay tuned for updates.